Welcome to the poultry processing demo. Thanks for getting up early. A lot of people think everything starts at 9 o'clock and they get here at 9 and then they see that, we're packaging chickens. Oh, we gotta open those up. Here you go. You know how to use that? I'm David Schaefer, also known as the Featherman. And beside me, we're lucky enough to have the Christian, libertarian, environmentalist, lunatic, capitalist, farmer, Joel Salatin. Everybody's favorite. And I was thinking, I wondered where I'd be without Joel Salatin in my life. All I know is it's definitely not here. This would never have happened without Joel Salatin. Featherman would never have happened. So many things, thank you, Joel, would never have happened without this man, and it's just a privilege to have shared the same passions and the same trajectory. You all know the feeling of having somebody that's got a vision and the smarts to see it from a 50,000-foot view of what's right, what's wrong, where do we go, do all the things he's done. It's just huge. And Joel, I love you. I so appreciate your part in this whole thing.
Great.
I mean, you are the thing. He's the thing.
Thing.
Joel
Don't
is
know
the
what thing,
My
but it's
highest
the thing.
compliment. He's the thing.
I always wanted to be the thing.
So we're going to disassemble 16 chickens here, and we want
I
to...
think it's 14.
14?
Yeah,
Oh.
they're pretty big. They don't want to put 8 in a crate, so we've got 14.
7 and 7. They're pretty big.
7 and 7.
And we always learn something on one of these deals, and we're going to use the rotodunker, which we say for $700, $800 puts a person on the gutting line where you really need them more, because it frees up a person here. But the limit of this is this size, and if the birds are bigger than about a 5-pound dress weight, they're never going to fluff up and scald right. So we're going to find out, and we have a backup plan, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So a little bit about you all. Tennessee. Of course. You guys are so lucky to have this in your state. California refugees.
There you go.
Bless
There they
you.
are. Yeah, California.
Look at all that. Welcome. You guys, we're going to tax you for being here, by the way. We've got this fund that we're collecting money for. Yeah, I know people come from far and wide. We just love Rory and what he's done to put this together. It gets better every year. Joel and I have a tent to work under today. It's just too cool. We're going to get on with the show. We want to treat these birds the best as possible, and that means not standing here yakking all day, but get the job done. So they're beautiful big birds. We will go through the routine. I will do the sacrificing, and I'm getting signals. Yeah. Featherman, take off your glasses. My wife
I have the prototype classic.
Yeah.
This is a.
It's a collector's item for sure.
This is now a collector's. It's worth $1,000.
I'll give you 2.
So we always come to this. There is a certain amount of what we call slaughter humor in this. It is not a somber thing, but it is a sacred thing. And so we take this very seriously, but there are also plenty of times to crack jokes and enjoy the operation. If you know my son Daniel, he's come up with 2 rules of this procedure. The one is keep your mouth shut. And the other is if you feel something on your lip, don't lick it. Those are the 2 things. So for the folks who are squeamish about this thing, we absolutely understand it. If your whole interaction with animals in your whole life has been nothing but pets, this can be a little bit push your envelope, okay? But let me just say that there can be no life without death. Whether it's a dead carrot, a dead chicken, or whatever it is, a compost pile is all about things eating each other, dying, and rejuvenating in new life. So the life, death, decomposition, regeneration, life, death, decomposition, regeneration is foundational ecologically, spiritually, and practically. And so, so what makes this sacred is these chickens have had a wonderful life. They have, here in their production and with their pasture and their fresh air and sunshine and grass and worms, they have enjoyed the full expression of chickenness, and their chickenness has been honored, which makes, listen, there's no sacredness in a Tyson chicken being dressed, because that's just, get me out of my misery. Okay, there's no sacredness there. It's just sacrilege. And so here there is sacredness because the life has been honored, which gives us the opportunity to create a sacred space. So with that in mind, David's going to start right in.
Yep.
And so what the minimum thing that you need is you need a way to restrain the birds. This idea of, well, Grandma always just took them and took a hatchet and block and chopped their head off and threw them in the yard. And, that's very shocking, okay? It's shocking to the system, shocking to the bird. And so we want as gentle, there will generally be a little bit of squawking, but you want very, very little squawking. And so the restraint here is like everybody know about Temple Grandin, the classic the squeeze. So this gives them that a hug, all right, a squeeze there as they come into the end. Then you need to be able to scald them, which loosens the feathers, and I guess there's some soap in there.
We're going to put it in.
Yeah, okay. And then you need a way to get the feathers off. Now you can do this by hand. In fact, you can do this by hand. You can do it all by hand, but it doesn't take very many birds to want to move at least to a homestead scale here, where you have a little bit of equipment. If you've ever put chickens on a clothesline and tried to pick them, and the feathers are on your fingers, and it's kind of like having your fingertips all full of boogers, and you can't.
What does that feel like?
It's never felt good to me. That's all I know. So I got a booger on the end of my finger and I can't get it off.
I've just got one booger finger. Oh, wait. Maybe two. So we do have fun.
So some way to get the feathers off. And then you need a clean surface. And this can be, just a regular table. But you need some sort of clean. I mean, it can be a wooden table, a picnic table with a piece of old linoleum on them that you've cleaned off. What you're looking at here is a setup that's probably good from 0 to, I'm going to say, maybe 2,000 birds a summer, okay, a season, and then you might want to move forward a little bit. What do we got, Dave?
We're rising through 140, so I think we're good.
We're good?
Dalton checked it at 150 half an hour ago. We're still good.
Okay, good. All right, so.
All right.
Let's proceed.
A little note about preparation. You want to have your chickens off of feed, Joel says 18 hours beforehand, like the afternoon before. You want to give them the best life possible, obviously. That's part of the sacred contract. And I'm using a new word. We've used harvest before, but I really like sacrifice. The sacredness, sacrifice is from Latin sacra, to raise above the secular, to be holy, to be sacred, and facere is to make. So we are releasing the spirit of these chickens, and it's traditionally been an act of priests, rabbis. And so I want you to join me in giving thanks to these birds. One moment, please, before we do that. I want you to know that I have polluted this whole area with, this happens to be organic vegetable avocado oil spray. Everything here has been covered with it. That's to get the blood off at cleanup. We want that to be quick and easy. Also, as Joel said, did I add the sacred Dawn soap? Yes.
The reason for the soap in the scald water is, when you put water on a table, it has cohesion and it kind of bubbles up, right? That's surface tension. Surface tension makes it do that. I won't get into all the physics of it, probably because I don't understand it. But anyway, I know that it bubbles up. When you put the soap in the water, if you have bubbled up water on a tabletop and you touch it with a piece of soap, suddenly all that bubble spreads because you've broken that surface tension. And so that's what happens here with the soap in the water. You're breaking that surface tension.
Yeah. So, did you hear a squawk? I heard a little bit. Squawkless pluck is my goal. And I learned after Joel and one other person asked us to make a merry-go-round, also known as the Wheel of Misfortune, kill stand, that's Joel's word, that I wasn't taking steps along my cone line like I had been. And when I take steps with him, I'm not going to demonstrate. You just trust me, she'll squawk or he'll squawk. If you have a setup like this where you're real close, they really don't talk too much. And that's what we want to do. We want to honor their existence through and through. You've done such a good job. So I'll go through this more, but I'm still holding the feet with my right hand, and I'm gently extending the neck with my left. And this bird is disoriented. He's upside down. He's cradled in the Temple Grandin type hug. I'm going to give one slice across the carotid artery.
These are big birds, by the way, and so it's a little bit difficult to have a one-size-fits-all cone. So there are a few different size cones. Let me just say, I do not recommend. There are some people who are making a flat back cone, so it's like a D, got a flat back, and then curves around. I don't recommend those. I like the complete round ones. If they're jumping out, it's not good. So when we say we cut the carotid artery,
can you see this, Jason? Are you getting it? Okay. So here's the ear. Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah. So you notice he's not cutting it in the front of the throat. It's at the back. The other thing is the closer you get to the wattles, which are the little dangly ears sticking down, the closer you get to the wattles, the better chance you hit. Because if you feel yourself, okay, your carotid arteries come up on both sides of your windpipe. I'll get that. Well, maybe you'll get it. Come up on both sides of your windpipe, and as they come up under your jaw, they spread. They come up on both sides of your jaw. They don't come up right under your mouth. They spread out. And so the closer you can get to the bird's head, up under her jawline, under her beak, the better chance you have of cutting only the carotid artery and not the windpipe. Why is that important? Because the more we sever at the neck, the more the bird will go into shock. We don't want the bird to go into shock. If it goes into shock, the autonomic nervous system shuts down. Well, guess what? Then their lungs shut down, their heart shuts down, everything shuts down. And so by cutting just the carotid artery, the autonomic nervous system continues to function. The bird does not go into shock. They do go brain dead in less than a second. Yeah. I mean, it's just
like you're getting up from a chair too fast.
Yeah. It's a fainting. Yeah, or when you have your head down, you lift up real quick. You have that kind of little woozy. All right, that's the way it feels for them, and so it's a very gentle, a gentle go, and all the autonomic nervous system continues to function so that they don't go into shock, and they actually pump the blood out of them.
It's scientific.
We've done a lot of birds over the years, and this is one of the reasons why we don't like to there are places that we don't want to go, because in the industry right now, this is one reason why we're not animal welfare certified. People say, well, why don't you get animal humane certified? Because they only recognize 3 kinds of slaughter. One is electrocution, one is suffocation, and one is carbon dioxide gas.
All terrible. All
not gentle, and actually not nearly as accurate as this. And they're certainly not as worker friendly. You don't want to inhale the carbon dioxide, and you don't want to get shocked. And so you have all this paraphernalia, to meet OSHA requirements as soon as you go to those three things, which means a small operation can't afford all the safety techniques and safety measures and switches and all things that are required to keep you safe if you're doing those three methodologies. So this is essentially a halal, kosher type kill. And I remember when Whole Foods started their 5-point, humane production thing, and the guy from Britain that was instituting the program came by to visit. They wanted us to, go into the program as one of the early adopters, and then, we give it credibility. And he started down this pathway, where you have to electrocute them or suffocate them or gas them. And I said, wait a minute, are you telling me that all halal and kosher kill is inhumane? He said, with his British accent, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And I said, well, we're done here. I'm not going anywhere with you if all kosher and halal kill for the eons of years that this has been developed is inhumane. So
bacteria love blood too. So there's a direct correlation between bacteria growth and the amount of blood that's left in the chicken.
Yeah.
And it's a significant amount in a stunned bird versus a cut bird. And stunned can be any of these things.
Any of these other things.
Decapitated, anything that disconnects the heart, lungs, and brain.
Yeah, and we have worked with numerous, over the years, like, federal inspected processing facilities stuff, to try to get birds into different markets. And every time we do, when we take 300 or 400 birds to one of these places, and they use one of these procedures, you can tell from the blood bucket about half of the blood is not coming out. So when you buy nobody here would buy chickens at Kroger's or Costco or anything. But if you have friends who do, you'll notice all the dark around all the joints, the black around the joints. That's clotted blood that didn't come out at the slaughter time.
And just one anecdotal story that to me is really poignant. Joel's stories that he knows how much blood comes out, and when he takes it to a federal facility and he knows what they got out and didn't get out, that's significant. Another one is Cody Hopkins, another big producer in Arkansas, started the grassroots co-op. It was well known that the shelf life of a fresh chicken was 4 to 6 days. They were just starting up operations. They lost a pallet of chickens. They discovered a pallet of fresh chickens, not frozen, 28 days old. They thought, what a huge loss of money. Well, we'll just open a package and give it a sniff test. That was fine. They did some more testing, completely fine. They were knocked over that they hadn't had a bacteria flush like would be expected on a factory chicken. So you're raising really, really, really superior meat.
Yeah.
We haven't even tested. We're going to talk about nutrient composition.
And part of that is because these birds, if you notice how clean they're coming in, these birds are not in a factory farm situation. These birds would be coming in with their feathers, their feather follicles, and their skin completely impregnated and covered with fecal particulate, because they're living in a fecal particulate space all the time. And so these birds are coming in a lot cleaner. So some of it is the kill, some of it is the, all right, we probably better get
generally we say like 2 to 3 minutes a bird. 5 minutes is even better if you have enough cones to do it. I didn't hit the carotid artery on one of them, and you'll notice, some of you closer especially, the one was still moving. I barely touched the carotid artery. I could see that, but I didn't want to demonstrate a second cut just because I wanted to not show you I messed up.
But you should see a good...
It did die.
Yeah.
It just took longer, and the second cut is okay. You got to learn. I mean, we've all had to learn that way, and sometimes you get a little vigorous and you've got a head in your hand and you don't know what happened. But it's just... And
what's funny is when that happens, you instinctively always immediately say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut your head clear off." I just meant to take your
and they
blood
say,
away.
"It's okay. I forgive you." All right. So we just did 4. I'm gonna wait. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It'll be obvious what's going on here, and it'll be obvious if they're too big.
Well, I'm not sure. You think?
I think we're gonna be okay.
I think they're going to be okay, maybe.
Get them all loaded.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing about this is we've got a very light-duty rotisserie motor, and it's because we're so kid-friendly. It's barely got enough oomph to spin this thing around. But what if a child gets a hand in here? Ow, that's hot. It'll stop. It'll stop.
Yeah.
They'll burn themselves before they break an arm. It's safe. There's no pinch.
Here.
Get away! It'll pinch them before it won't hurt. It won't hurt them.
So the reason that you have movement. So this is critical for getting the scald done right. It's not just a matter of sticking them in the scald water. We want the scald water to be about 145, and this is extremely precise. About 142 to 147 is about where you want it. That's why there's a thermostat on here, and you want enough power to be able to to keep your scald water hot, because when the birds go in, they're not 145. So they're gonna chill down. So you need enough strength in your scalder to be able to to scald them. Normally it takes around 90 seconds, something like that, to get them scalded. And so here's the deal. So those feathers are in a pimple, if you will. Chicken flesh, okay? They're little pimples that stick up. And so that feather follicle is sticking into this, are you with me? Into this this follicle. And so the movement of the birds move the feathers around, and you want those feathers, that feather to be moving around in that pedestal, okay? Because that stimulates the water penetration. You don't want to just put them in there and just hold them and count, watch the clock and 90 seconds and we're done. No. You got to swish them, you got to pull them out. You want oxygen to go in there. The oxygen is going to make little air spaces that then on the next cycle, water will run in that little air space, and that's the idea, is the constant movement of those feathers to in and out of the water. Generally, you want about 12 cycles a minute is about what you're looking for. So if you're hand scalding, use rubber gloves, okay? And you can hand scald and do about about every 5 or 6 seconds, down, swish, up, down, swish, up. Are you with me? You got the thing? All right. About, somewhere around 12 cycles a minute. All right.
I think we're pretty close.
We're pretty close?
We'll find out.
Now,
if we're wrong, we'll do it again. We'll go back and scald some more. They're big. Pump.
So, when you're using...
You want to get up here, Jason?
I think we're right at the maximum of this.
It's a load.
They're heavy. They're big.
Yeah.
But they're doing. So the key here is you can't just do one bird. You got to do 2 so they can bounce up against each other and roll around. We've had people, this thing doesn't work very well. They're just doing one chicken at a time. But you need to do a couple at least. The other thing is, you notice there's cold water spraying in here. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Just want to grab a couple.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
No pin feathers. None of that yellow stuff. That one's yours. This one, sometimes you have to pull a few tail feathers, but how many have done this job by hand? You know, don't you?
Yeah, you know.
All right. know. You've earned your stripes. All right, Joel, what do you do next?
Yeah. So the cold water acts like a blanch. If you've ever green beans, corn, you blanch it, and the cold
a little bit too much.
A little bit too much. The cold water actually helps the feathers come out better. So obviously, if you're doing this, you can just spray water in, whatever. How you know you have a good scald is that this yellow skin comes off of the feet, all right? And we sell all the feet. We need four-legged chickens these days. The Weston A. Price Foundation has so created such a goodness, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, we used to compost all this stuff. About 10 or 12 years ago, Weston A. Price Foundation. Everybody know about Weston A. Price Foundation? If you don't, go sign up. They got a booth over here, and the next thing we knew, people were asking, "Do you have feet? Do you have feet?" So we started, doing feet. And more people asked, so we started charging 50 cents a pound for them. We couldn't keep them in. We charged $1. We went to $1.50, $2. I mean, in the last 10 years, we've added 50 cents a chicken just with the feet. And now we need four-legged chickens because we can't keep them in. So that's how you know your scald is good. And so just a point on that, on the scald, remember, if you're hand dunking, which, starting out is perfectly fine, all right? But if you're hand dunking and you're using rubber gloves to keep your fingers from getting chilled, the tenderest part of the chicken is the breast. The most difficult is the feet. Well, you're hanging on to the feet, right? And so if you just, if you're pushing them up and down, your scalding is going most to the breast and least to the feet because the feet are the last thing in and the first thing out. Everybody follow me? Okay? So a rotisserie scalder, we think is critical in order to give the bird a complete 100% consistent scald.
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, this bird right here got a little bit heavy on the breast, but that's, again, you're not going to see that on the feet. You're going to see it on the breast. Okay.
Yeah. You're good. You have my permission to go.
You want to go ahead and kill a couple more. So Dave's so we're kind of demonstrating how a couple people can just march right through here and get this done. When Teresa and I started back, 50. Whoa, boy, it's getting pretty long now. 50 years ago.
83.
Yeah, doing this. The two of us, with essentially a setup like this, could do 50 birds an hour. The two of us, 50 birds an hour. So I'm just putting that out there so that you know what your goal is, your benchmark. How many of you, two of you, can do 50 birds an hour? Are we good? We good? No. Okay. Well, we got work to do. All right. So let's take the feet off. So everything you're cutting is in the valleys. It's in the valleys. So if you look at this, I don't know how this is. Yeah, if we can get the camera right, see this? There's a knuckle, and a valley right here. Okay, and so you're cutting into the valley. All right, and we're pulling the bird. We're picking the bird up, so the bird is pulling away from me. And I'm cutting right into that valley, all right? Doesn't that look easy? Okay. The head, we're not going to cut the head off. We're going to pull the head off. Why? Well, because, here we are. Because when we pull the head off, it breaks at a vertebrae. If I cut it off, I'm going to hit bone with my knife, and I don't want to hit bone with my knife. And the second reason is because it's going to have a sharp point on it, whereas if I pull it off, it's always going to break at a vertebrae, which gives me a nice round, socket that I'm dealing with. The next thing, as you're setting up to do this, you want potable water on site. You don't want to have to go fishing for water. And so we've got, this is a bit of a crude setup, but it's working. It's going to be just fine.
Great.
And we're going to go right through them. I want to get these other heads off. Big birds.
Yeah, they are.
Got to get mad with it. Okay. Head. Head, all right. Feet. Okay. Makes it look easy, doesn't it? Okay. Valleys. Always the valleys. All right. And just remember, if you feel like, oh my goodness, this just looks so simple and I struggle, just remember, on your 1,773rd bird, you get really good. Okay? All right. So now we've got feet off, head off. So positioning here is everything. So I'm going to put the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pooch up the tail, and I'm going to take off the oil sac right here. Now, this is personal choice. We take the tail off because we've always done it that way.
Like Grandma's roaster.
Yeah, Grandma's roaster. We take the tail off. Some people elect not to. I mean, these Cornish cross modern birds don't have nearly as big an oil sac as the old birds that Grandma used to have.
And they live a third as long.
Yeah.
So they're not old. They don't develop that.
That's right. They're not as big. But we still take them off just because of concern with taint and that sort of thing. And because we've always done it that way. Now.
Don't do it.
Now, we're going to flip the bird around then. And again, we're looking at the valleys. So right here, so when David said these birds should come fasting, the feed was taken away from them yesterday, probably noonish.
There you go.
So we want all that feed to go through their system. We don't want anything in the crop. We don't even want anything in the intestines. It makes a big difference in how clean you can butcher. And folks, let me just say, I have seen probably the filthiest chickens in the world have not come out of Purdue and Tyson. They've come out of backyards. And I'm just challenging us. Let's not be cavalier. Now, we don't want to be paranoid about, oh, no, I don't know if I can do this. No, you don't have to be paranoid, but let's not be cavalier about mess and filth, all right? You notice I keep cleaning down this table here. I don't want blood. I don't want, pieces and parts and all this. I want to keep this thing clean. By the way, this table is really cool. You've got perforated pie plates in here with bottoms in them that drain into a pipe that's going out here. And this is a 6-station workstation. You could have 6 people here on this table eviscerating, and everybody's workstation is individualized so that you don't have cross-contamination. If I happen to break a gallbladder or break an intestine and I get manure in my workstation. Now, for sake of this today, I'm going to work not down in this perforated. I'm going to work up here on the top so we can see it better with the film. And you can, if I put it down here, I mean, I can work down here, but it's going to be a lot harder to see. So I'm going to work up here. I don't have any partners here working, so I don't have to worry about that. All right. So we're going to go into this valley here, and we're going to pick up this skin. I'm just going to pinch this skin. Notice, I'm not pinching it this way. I'm pinching it this way. I want that skin to pinch up this way, not this way, because when I cut it with a knife, I want the ridge of the skin to be where my knife is going to cut. And all I'm going to do is just break the skin. I don't want to be aggressive about this. Just pinch the skin, and then I'm going to use my fingers to pull the skin apart. And here's the crop. I hope you can see that. This is it. And this now, if this bird were not fasting, this crop would be out here a big old, like the size of a tennis ball. Okay, so and this is the Waterloo for most people. It's slick. It feels like snot, or afterbirth. It's really, really slick. And so,
in case you don't know what snot feels like.
Yeah, all of us have felt afterbirth. I mean, that's just normal. So So what I do here, it's real hard to pinch. See, it's slick, you know, you can't. So what I do is I kind of curl my thumb under it, and I'm actually got my thumb underneath it, and I'm pulling it down, and then I'm going to switch hands and pull it back. All I'm trying to do is loosen it, okay? Now it's loose. Now I'm going to poke my thumb under the windpipe and the esophagus and pull those out of the neck, all right? Here are my two tubes. See the two tubes? The flat one here is the esophagus, and the one that feels like a vacuum hose is the windpipe, all right? I'm not going to do anything. The whole idea of this evisceration technique is to not spill gastric intestinal juices, digestive juices, into the carcass, all right? If I take a knife now and cut this off, guess what? That's going to allow these post-crop juices to go into the breast, into the neck, all right? I don't want to do any of that. I'm coming here clear from the larynx and the beak, okay, with my tubes. Nothing's cut. Now I'm going to flip the bird around. And I'm gonna pull up the abdominal cavity back here. I've got my finger. You say I'm putting some tension on it. You see that? Can you notice the tension there? Why? Because I want this tight to enable my knife cut. So here's the vent right here. You can see the vent. Everything from my cut below the vent, I'm going to lose, okay? Because I'm going to cut the vent out later. So I want to cut. I call this my bikini cut. All right. I'm going to cut just as close to that vent as possible without touching anything. Again, all I'm doing is opening it up so I can now rip it open with my fingers, because I don't want to go in and cut the intestines and have a bunch of poop all down in the carcass, all right? We've had a lot of surgeons. Any surgeons here? Any surgeons? Yeah, okay, we got surgeons. I've had a lot of surgeons that we've taught how to do this, and they look at this and say, oh, that's a lot like surgery. We actually don't do much with a scalpel, because with a scalpel, you can, oh, I just cut through their liver, you know, you can do too much. So he said, we actually do a lot of very gentle, you know, scalpels work, and then we do a lot of kind of, am I right? We do a lot of kind of ripping and pushing and all this aside. All right, now, this bird is pooping a little, so I'm going to clean that off, all right? I don't want that in the deal, all right? So now I've got it open. Now I'm going to go in, and I kind of have a two-level procedure. I go in first, and I pull. Look at this beautiful fat. Man, let me tell you, fat's where it's at. If you want a tasty chicken, you want a fat chicken, all right?
Show that fat to the camera, Joel.
Can you see that now? See that fat to the camera? Okay. That fat is hanging up here under the breast and attached to the gizzard. Here's the gizzard. See the gizzard right there? Okay? So I'm going to pinch that fat off, because I don't want to lose that fat and have it come out in the viscera. I want that fat to stay with the carcass and be part of the broth and the good tasty eating experience, all right? So now I've got this fat. And as we go, I'm going to show you several spots where just with sloppy evisceration, you can lose a couple of ounces of chicken. This is one of them is cutting too low on the neck and losing a couple of neck vertebrae. Again, the neck bones, very tasty broth, okay? And so one is the neck, one is here, and we've got one more coming. But think about it. If you're selling chickens, we'll make this simple, for $4.80 a pound, it's a multiple of 16. How much is that per ounce? $4.80 a pound. How much is that per ounce? 40. Where'd you go to school? 30. 3 times 16 is 48. I know, we can't do math in our heads anymore because we have to depend on calculators. 3 times 16 is 48. So that's 30 cents an ounce. If we lose, here's an ounce here, an ounce on the neck.
An ounce on the fat.
An ounce on the fat, yeah.
That's 3.
If we lose 2 or 3 ounces, we can very quickly lose 60, 70 cents, 80 cents a bird. I know you guys aren't planning.
More than that.
What?
You're almost at, you're up to 3, 6, 9 ounces. You're over half a pound.
No. I said 2 ounces.
An ounce.
This is probably half an ounce.
3 ounces.
A neck is half an ounce. The other's. So I'm just going to say 2 just for sake of discussion. 2 ounces times 30 cents is 60. All right, did we go to the same math?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, okay.
Sold.
So if we're doing 10,000 chickens, okay, which I hope all of you are doing within about 2 or 3 years from today, how much is that in a season? 60 cents a bird times 10,000 birds.
6,000.
I know it's early, okay? $6,000 a year. My point is, details matter. Details matter, all right? So I know we don't have to make a living at this, but let's be careful. All right, now I've got that separated. Now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to scoop down. And what I'm trying to do is hook the esophagus around my pointer finger, okay? Note this is the look you want to see coming out of the bird. You want the esophagus around your pointer finger, and here's the heart and the liver
Can
right
you tilt
here.
that toward Jason?
Okay.
So they get a bird's eye view a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's the look you want to see coming out of that bird. All right. Look at this. There's the crop. It's all coming right through that bird. That's why we loosened it up. Because if we didn't loosen it up, some of them will come out of the neck, and a lot of them will break off there. And then when they break off, now you've got digestive juices down in the chicken carcass. Okay. Here, everything came out clean. Nothing broke. All right. Now, so I've got everything sitting in my right hand. Now I'm going to roll this over. If you're left-handed, just shift on everything that I'm saying. I'm going to roll this over, and I'm going to pinch the liver. Look at this green thing. That's the gallbladder.
Danger, Will Robinson.
You do not want to break the gallbladder. You do not want to eat the gallbladder. You do not want to spray the gallbladder in your eyes. Been there, done all of that. Okay, when the poems say bitter as gall, they knew how to butcher chicken. And it does not taste good. All right, so what we want to do here is we want to pinch the gallbladder off of the liver, and now we have the liver and the heart. And by the way, that is a beautiful, beautiful liver and heart.
Well done, Michael.
Yeah, that's well done, well done. I think
we have an ice bucket for them.
yeah, I do have an ice bucket. I'll put that in there. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what have I got? I've got the intestinal tract and the guts just sitting in my left hand. Notice, nothing hit the table. I didn't even drop this. I'm not dropping it, picking it back up. Look, it all was a smooth motion going from my right hand to my left, and now I've got the gut sitting in my left hand with one intestinal tract hooked to the chicken. So now I'm going to pull to the left and cut down close to the right of the vent, pull to the right, cut down on the left, and then I'm going to cut right under it, and out it comes. And there's the other place that you can lose weight is right here, this pubic fat. All right? See these two big globs of fat right here. So if you just come in here on the vent and you just come in a great big old circle and cut that out, you can lose that pubic fat there too. So those are areas that you can lose. Now, the one thing I didn't get were the lungs. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. The lungs are now sitting collapsed down into the rib cage. There's one. So what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm kind of turning my fingers sideways because the ribs are going like this. Okay, so I'm scooping down between the ribs. There's one, and every chicken has two. I've never met one that had only one lung. Okay, chickens didn't meet the Marlboro man and lose lungs to cancer. Okay, so I've got the lungs out. Now I'm going to kind of spray out the bird just a little bit. just to get any little pieces out. Now, I'm going to, so now, remember, this bikini cut down here leaves me a nice big flap of skin. See that nice big flap of skin right here below the breast? I can do a lot of things with that skin because it's a nice big long flap. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to make just a tiny little incision, and I'm going to poke one leg in it.
From above.
Then I'm going to poke another leg in it. And we have an oven-ready chicken with the legs tucked in, the skin in the back, ready to go. Okay? Now, obviously, if you want to now take a cleaver and whack the neck off and keep those separate for broth and things, you can do that. But this gives you your bird. Now, when we process, we like to kind of have a two-stage chill where we put them in well water first, and then we put them in ice. I'm putting them directly in ice here, but the two-stage lets them cool off just a little bit slower, and that slower cooling off by 30 minutes actually makes them a little more tender because you have time for the they call it the riggers, for the riggers to go in and tenderize the bird.
And it keeps your final water a little cleaner.
And it keeps your final water a little bit cleaner. What we've found is that you don't want to cook this chicken on the very same day you did it unless you're slow cooking. If you're crock potting, slow cooking, fine. But if you're wanting to cook, fried chicken or broiled chicken or something like that, wait a day. Wait a day. A lot of people have had, we went through the tough chicken thing till we learned from our chefs. Give them 24 hours to relax, go through, and then they'll be okay. All right. So now that we've got the slow thing, let me do one kind of at speed. I'm not going to talk much. I'm just going to do it at speed just to.
Should we time you?
So here comes the sack. Now this one's the one with the bad breast.
We would call that a family bird.
Yeah, this would be a cull. If you're selling them, this would be the one you eat, or you can do parts and pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got the back open. I'm going to take the fat off the gizzard. Draw. Okay. Pinch off the gallbladder. Lung, number 1. Lung, number 2. Check, make sure we got all the pipes from the front end. Yep, they're good. We'll spray it out a little bit. Okay. Make our cut, tuck the legs. Ready to go.
Pretty quick.
Okay.
They say 21 seconds. I don't know. That might have been 22. Not to put any pressure on.
Yeah.
But I think you can make it in 20. If you can get somebody on your crew to do it in under a minute, you're happy. 30 seconds is magic.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Our benchmark at Polyface, we expect all of our interns to be able to do that in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
That means one person can do 60 birds an hour.
Yeah.
So if you've got 2 eviscerators here, you can run at 120 birds an hour.
This person wants to cover up those people.
Yeah, it's always a game.
3 minutes, a minute and a half, 30 seconds or a minute, and then all the time is always, the bottleneck is here.
Yeah.
So that's why this is so important.
Yeah. And And people routinely, if there's, so our birds then go from here to another table that we call quality control, QC, and that person's actually, spraying them out, tucking the legs, making sure all the little feathers, we say under the armpits and all that stuff, they're checking it over, make sure it's ready. If they start complaining that the birds aren't coming clean, they're not picking clean, it's never the picker, never. It's always the scald. So something's with the scald. If your birds are not clean, if they're not coming out of the picker clean, it's always the scald. It's not something else. Okay.
Want me to scald some?
Yeah. Go ahead and scald some more. And I think now I've walked you through. Let's take questions. We're completely spontaneous here on any subject. I mean, from production to whatever, to processing. And let's just. We've got what do we got? We've got about 30 minutes to go. And so I'm going to just work and answer questions and try to think and talk at the same time. Yes, ma'am.
So I always have a hard time when I'm pulling everything out, being able to locate the trachea and esophagus to hook with my finger. Do you have any tips so that I quit breaking it?
So the question is, I'm having trouble locating the trachea and the esophagus when I pull it loose from the neck. What's the trick to find? Okay, the trick there is you're not digging aggressively enough with your thumb. Okay, so you have to look. There are times to be gentle and time to be aggressive, and when you're poking your thumb under there to loosen that up, that's the time to be aggressive. I'll get this chicken here and kind of show it to you. Okay. And make sure that you've got good pressure, potable water where I watch people, because if you don't have, got a feather here. If you don't have really good, accessible, easy, potable water, your table is going to get filthy. And over an hour, you're going to have a buildup of blood, then you're going to get flies, and you're going to have a mess, all right? So having good, potable water that's easy, and notice we've got just a zip tie here. I mean, this is a bit crude, but it's right here. I don't have to bend over. I don't have to go walk over and get a hose. It's all right here, and so it's easy. So I don't have to sit here and reluctantly clean stuff down. All right, I can clean stuff down real easy. All right, so let's do this windpipe thing. All right, we'll take the oil sac off. All right, now I'm going to the front. We'll just cut this. Now I've got the crop. I'm going to pull the crop back with my left hand. All right. Now I'm going to dig, and this means sometimes you have to help yourself a little bit with your pointer finger. But I'm gonna go right against the bone of that neck. I want to feel that bone. I'm being aggressive here. Okay, going all the way down to the bone. To stick my thumb. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. You got to go right down. Are you with me? You see the movement here? Okay, I'm gonna feel that bone with my thumb, and I'm gonna dig under, and that's the key because that's what gets it up here where you can pull it out with your left hand. All right. If you don't dig enough to get it up out, you're never going to get it with your other hand because it's all in there, wishy-gishy and all that stuff. Okay. So that's where you got to loosen your loop so you can get your fingers under it to pull it out. Okay. All right. Another question. Anything at all? Who's got a question? Yes.
Side two, and the front back, the original side, like do side two first, and then side one, and come on around. Just curious.
Okay, the question is about the vent cut. Can you kind of do that in So I'm there right now. All right. The reason that I separate it is because it's too easy, if you cheat on this, on the movement, it's too easy to cut the intestine. So I want you to think about the vent cut as 3 motions. When we teach this for our stewards and our apprentices at the farm, we break this all down into single motions. Now, when you become a master, they kind of blend into, you do it without, you get muscle memory. You're not thinking about it in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. But when we teach it, we want them to separate all their motions. So it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And so this procedure ends up being, 40 specific steps, 40 specific motions. If you learn that way, then you get muscle memory, and it all works after that. So pulling here to the left, and pulling to the left lets me get really, really close, see? And then pulling to the right. And if I'm, so for me, if I now don't lift the knife and try to turn it sideways, that's a difficult procedure, okay? Because it's going away from me. This way, I can just come underneath, and I have a lot more control. I'm not trying to turn the knife at the corner of the street. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Okay. Another question. Yes, sir.
What kind of knife is that?
What kind of knife is it?
Victorinox.
Victorinox. Those are really the only ones that we recommend. They stay sharp longer, better steel, made in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Right. They're Swiss
Army knives.
Swiss knives. And they're really good. And of course, Dave sells these knives in his Featherman arsenal. Okay, yes. Gizzards. All right. I'm not saving the gizzards today. Nobody told me to, and I'm not sure everybody here eats gizzards. So here's the deal with the gizzards. If you want the gizzards, you can certainly save them and have them. What we have found is not very many people eat them. And so if somebody wants gizzards, we'll save them for you. And many times we've saved, 2 5-gallon bucketfuls of gizzards to somebody that says, "Oh, it's my favorite part of the chicken. Man, I want all these gizzards." Okay, we'll save them for you. We give them 2 5-gallon buckets of gizzards. We never see them again. Because once they learn what the cleaning is, it becomes a pretty big deal. And so, we used to do the gizzards, but what we found was a lot of our people didn't want them anyway. And in the time it took us to clean a gizzard, to clean $1 worth of gizzards, we could clean $10 worth of chickens, and it just wasn't worth it. So one of the favorite things for gizzards, if you have fisherman friends, and this is something, if you live in Alabama, if you live in catfish country, Mississippi, Louisiana, you can cultivate a market for gizzards as catfish bait. The beauty of a gizzard is it's really a tough ball. It's not like a liver, where it can shred. It's a good, heavy thing, and pull it across the bottom of a thing and catch a 50-pound catfish. Gizzards are just a favorite bottom feeder. Catfish are bottom feeders. Bottom feeder fish bait. So if you're in an area where that works, you have a bit of an unfair advantage. The other thing you can use gizzards for is if you are friends with falconers. They throw them in the air to teach falcons to catch stuff in the air. Heads as well, both. Great question. Other questions? Yes, way over here.
When you overscold a bird and it turns the meat white, does it affect the quality of the meat when you're cooking and eating?
When you overscald a bird,
if you
it turns the meat
overscald a
white.
bird, turns the meat white, does that affect the taste of the bird later? I don't know. What do you think, Dave? I don't.
I've always thought not. I've always thought not.
I mean, all I can say is those are the birds we eat. Because if we overscald them, we probably busted up the skin, so they're an ugly bird. And so those are the ones we eat. And we've never experienced any taint, any taste taint. Boy, you got it.
I think we can invite the little ones up. You want to do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Traditionally, at this point in the show, we invite 12 and unders up for a up close and personal, and maybe even help Joel look at things. So do we have any volunteers? I know we had one gal that I would really like to get. Come on
There
up
we go.
here.
Yeah, come on up.
Come on up here. We'll take
Come on
as
up. Here
many
we
as
go.
we have standing room for. Yep, come on up, come on up. Come on up. And Joel, I'm going to start another batch.
Yeah,
Okay?
go ahead.
So you will now see this through your child's eyes. And they are completely unjudgmental, fascinated. by it
Yeah,
all.
okay. So you reach your, let's see who can pull a lung out. All right, so reach right in here. Who wants to be the first one? All right,
Big
you want to
birds.
go in? See if you can pull a lung out. Go right in there, see if you can pull a lung out. There you go. Can you feel it? Can you feel it down in the rib cage? It's soft. All right. Yeah, it's mushy. Oh,
Okay.
well, it's not quite as mushy as brains. Have you felt brains? You have. Oh boy, we've got experience up here, folks. You get it? Oh, that's a piece of it. Here, I got it loosened for you. Here, go on the right side and feel it. I loosened it up a little bit for you. Okay?
You're okay. You're okay, I promise.
There, you got it. You got it. All right. Now, there's one more. Who wants to get the other one? Okay. Go on in. It's fairly loose on the left side. On the left side. Feel it? There. Good job. Both of them. They got their lungs. Very cool. Good. All right. We'll cut our hole here. Okay, we're good to go. All right. Now, let's get another one here. Okay. Okay.
These
Here, you wanna
birds are
wash
so
your-
big.
Here. Bring your hands up.
These birds are so big, I have a hard time pulling the neck down to
Yeah, bring your
enough
hand up.
where you can see it. They're really broad-chested.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
There you are.
Come on up here.
Here's the oil sac. See the oil
Come on
sac
up
right there? And take that oil sac off. Here's the crop.
I've got my hand over his
Okay.
head and just,
There's the
I'm
crop
aiming
right
for
there.
right
see
here.
that? See that crop sitting there? It's flat.
So right where that,
Okay.
it's going to squirt
Pull that
towards
down.
you, so be forewarned.
And then we're gonna
But I'll show you the cut.
stick
after
my
we
thumb
make it.
under, pull the windpipe. See the difference in the wind? Who wants to feel the windpipe?
I like
Feel
to hold
wind-
the
see
head
how
for
it feels
about
like
2
a vacuum
seconds.
core? It's got little ribs
So I
in
don't
it.
thrash
And the
and throw
esophagus
blood
is flat.
everywhere.
Here you go. Feel it?
But again,
That's
that's,
the
hard to do
difference in
because
the
they're so
two
big and they're back
cords.
up there. And they're strong.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Feel.
Yeah.
All right, there's the two.
They're out
Feel
now.
the two? Yeah, see the difference? Okay.
Close
Good.
to the ear.
All right.
Close to the ear. Pretty close.
How we doing, Dave? How many more do you have to kill?
We've got 7. I've got 3 more to kill. I've got 4 in
Okay.
the bleed out.
All right. Okay, other questions right now? Yes, yes,
I'm going to go
ma'am.
ahead and do these.
Matter which side?
Say again?
Does it matter which side?
No, it doesn't matter which side.
Okay.
And some people cut both.
About turkeys?
I think a second cut
Guinea.
is
Oh,
not
guinea fowl.
necessary,
Yes.
and
If
if you wait,
all
they don't feel
poultry
it. If you do it right away,
is
I make
pretty
up
much
the
the
first cut to
same.
be surprised.
They
Like a
all
paper cut,
have
second cut,
the
not so
same
much.
issues.
Just I don't feel it's necessary.
Ducks. Whoops, wrong bucket.
I'm happy to take an extra minute for them
ducks
to bleed out.
Are obviously hard to pluck,
If
it's
if,
hard to pluck
if
a
it's
duck.
not a thick stream, you just got the jugular vein.
and
If it's a thick stream, you got
turkeys,
the
of
carotid
course,
artery.
are big. Guineas are a little bit smaller than these chickens, but the physiology is exactly the same.
It usually
Procedures is exactly the same.
shoots out about an
You know,
inch
when you
and a half.
go down
Not having
something
that
real
happen
small
today,
like quail
that's why
or
I haven't
squab,
mentioned it. Usually it does.
you know, pigeons,
Not sure why.
then you're not
They
putting
are
your
big,
hand in.
strong.
You're doing it with a finger. You know, you're literally just pulling
usually I
out
have
the
it
guts
hit-
with a finger. But the procedure and the anatomy is exactly the same. Yeah. Good question.
I'll
Another
come
question,
around to
yes.
this last one.
What do you do with all of the leftovers and with
So it's a pretty, like, once you get, when you're pulling it.
Okay, so the hearts and livers are going in
As long as you don't hit your finger, you're probably okay.
a bucket with ice in it. All right,
Nobody likes
so they're
glass.
cooling off. And
I made it. No, I
and those,
didn't. Lone escape.
what we do
I'm going for
is we separate
right below the ear.
the heart and the liver, and because some people like livers, some people like hearts, and you can sell the livers for a lot of money. The livers are very, very valuable. But again, we have found that many people
And he's pulling hard. He's pulling my hand.
don't want the liver with the
hard.
chicken, so we separate them. That way we can satisfy customers specifically to what they want.
See that
So we
stream?
package them like 10 livers in a baggie, makes about a pound, and we can sell
It's
those
just
separately.
like
That's
anything,
exactly
it
what we
takes
do.
a little bit of
Yeah.
experience.
We used to put them with the chicken,
very sharp knife.
and then people said, "Well, I don't really like the liver." And then we had other people, "Oh, do you have extra livers?" So this is listening to customers and trying to.
with all the entrails and the lungs?
Here was the last. Thank you.
The entrails and all this here is going to go. We compost it. Now, you could feed it to pigs.
Okay, so yeah.
We don't feed it to pigs, not because pigs
Pull
don't
them
like
down.
it. They are omnivores. I mean, that's why the
There's
mafia
his
has
ear.
pig farms.
And so I was holding him like
But
this.
we
and
don't-
just cutting above my hand.
We don't because we have
So-
so many
Jugular vein
visitors.
is on the outside, carotid
And
arteries
when a
deeper than
when a
that.
class of 20
You'll
kindergartners
learn
comes
by
to visit
experience how deep
and they
you have to
watch
go. You
pigs
get it
pulling a
every time. I
10-foot
did it on the first
intestinal
batch.
tract across the
Basically-
pig pen,
Yeah.
somehow they don't
Right
want to
there
eat
on one
bacon.
side. Yeah, yeah.
And
And,
so, or
some- some
chicken,
gal-
all right?
These
And
birds
so
are
there
big,
are
and they're
things,
stuck right about there.
I'm like
You
the
have to pull
Apostle
hard to
Paul,
get them
there are
down.
things that
Ordinarily,
are
birds
that are
slide
legal
down a
to
little bit
do
more,
that I
and,
don't,
you can
or,
more easily
you know,
see
just
the
because of
spot.
those kinds of
A
things.
little bit better.
But yeah, I
No,
mean,
I
you
didn't
could
cut that
you could
stuff.
absolutely
Yeah,
do
exactly.
that.
That's
You
it.
know,
That's it. If you're left
no. They-
And some people do
Those
this.
pigs don't care if it's cooked or
So
not.
they
I mean,
actually
they'll
have
eat
them
you
facing them, and they go.
if you go in and quit moving. When we have kids, they want to go in with the pigs. I say, yeah, you can go in with the pigs
and that's
and
sure
keep
not a
moving.
surprise,
You know,
but first when I make
yeah,
up,
that does give you pause. Yes, sir.
I
Way in the
can
back.
feel it. They're mostly disoriented upside down. That's all they're really aware of, and then it's lights out.
We just freeze the livers in a little baggie. Put about 10 of them in a baggie. That's all. Real simple. Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay, so
most
what you
cases,
want?
to get down to
Good
40
question.
degrees,
We've talked about
usually about
sanitation
that
up here.
happens in 4 hours.
Right. So see, here's the gallbladder. There's the gallbladder right there. There's the liver and the heart. See that? There's the liver and the heart. So I'm gonna pull the gallbladder off, and that gallbladder stays. The liver and the heart go in.
I think there's.
All right. I'm gonna let somebody else try on the
never,
lungs on this one.
Let's see, what did we do?
Here, I'm gonna shove this bird over.
No, we threw some in deep. We had deep chests.
I'm getting to your question. Let me just get these kids started. Okay. Who wants to try to pull the lungs out of that
We
one?
had ice baths. And it was
All
like
right.
4
Go
hours.
ahead. Go ahead and
Longer.
yeah. Well, wait. You already did one. I need somebody new. Somebody didn't do it. Okay. You two. You go ahead and get one, and he gets the next one. Get the other one. You get one on the right or I don't care whether you go right or left. Just get one on one side, and then you can get the other side.
Overnight.
All right. It's
Yeah.
It's down in the rib cage, which on a chicken, everything is upside down. So the breast on a chicken
Thank you.
is down, and the ribs are on the back.
I got a question that came up, and I'm not really sure the answer. If I can ask you. So, do you guys, after you chill the birds in ice bath, which is what you do, about 4 hours to get to 40
Yeah.
degrees?
So the question here was how long?
Yes.
And so our rule of thumb is we want them to be below 40 degrees within about 3 hours.
Which is USDA 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, do you care whether they stay fresh or frozen? Do you ever freeze the first day?
We do freeze the first day, but they never do freeze the first day.
Exactly.
This is the critical thing. So are you getting somewhere? All right, let me get it loose, and then you can get it. All right. Now I've got the one on the left side.
I'm gonna turn the water on, you guys.
Go back in. It's loose
It
now.
goes everywhere.
Can you feel it now?
Yes.
Okay, now pull it out. Okay, so they're down there in that rib cage. They're a little bit there. Good. Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, just put it right there in the gut bucket. Okay. If you have cats, the favorite thing that the cats like is the lungs. So if you got cats, just drop them on the floor. The cats will
Will
eat
you
them.
guys turn
They'll
the
eat
switch
about
on?
12
Switch right there.
till they just get so fat they,
No,
they,
down.
they can't eat
Yeah, that
anymore,
one
and then
too.
they waddle off and go
Go
under a
turn that
bush
one.
and sleep it off
And
the
then that
rest of
switch
the
down on
day.
the gray part.
Okay, you're going to go into the right.
Yep.
Here you go. Want to clean off your hand?
Oh, wait.
Here, sugar.
What am
Sugar.
I doing?
Come here. Put your hand
Don't
under
forget
here.
to
Let's
scald
clean
your
off your
birds
hand.
before you pluck 'em.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good.
I just
Well
did that
done.
for fun.
So yeah, we want them to be below 40 degrees, somewhere between 3 and 4 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you guys ever break down your cuts? Like I found last year, I was selling whole birds, but people were like, oh, I just want to buy whole breast. And others were like, well, I want to buy a dozen wings.
Okay. Yeah. So we cut up. We part. So we have two things.
18 hours.
So we sell whole birds,
Yeah.
and then you sell a whole bird cut up, which is the
Yeah,
whole bird
I
cut
try to
up in
take
a
'em
like
right
a
to
like
wherever I'm gonna
a
process
whatever
them, so
9-piece,
they're
12-piece cut up. All right.
But yeah, you don't have to.
How are we doing?
Yes, in these crates. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yep.
Want me to get it loose for you? Here. All right. Now it's loose. Now go
sir.
get it.
How hot do you have your scalding water?
Feel it? Feels like a little mushy sponge.
They've actually got it at about 152. We ship
Oh.
them out at 147 and a half.
Okay. And then
But
you,
Yeah,
it's about
that
an
is
8-degree
vertebrae. It
temperature
is
variance.
vertebrae. Got
How
that.
long do you
You
leave
must be homeschooled.
Because this isn't real sophisticated, there's about an 8-degree temperature swing. So this temperature is going like this.
Right.
I've got it
So
loose for
if-
you. Just grab
I
it
never
and
know
pull it
where
out.
it is. So you'll see me.
See it?
They're not ready.
Yeah,
You just pull
it's on the
feathers.
bottom, not on the
Just pull
top.
feathers. When they come out really
There,
easily,
you got it?
you're ready to go.
Good.
bit
There you
long
are.
one time.
Ah, you got it.
A little bit
Here,
short. Last
here,
time
give
I
me
had
your
to put
hand.
some
Give me your
tail
hand here.
feathers.
Give me your hand.
You get good at it.
clean that
when
off.
When you're doing it, you get in the rhythm.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Good question. Yeah, thank you.
So we, clean off your Homestead tag. Here, you got some hair on the arm right up here. Okay. Yeah.
Anybody want to pull feathers?
Clean it off. Clean it off.
Tell me
There
when
we
they're
go.
ready.
When you go
Come
pick
by,
your
just
nose,
reach in.
when you go pick your nose, we don't
Wanna
need
help
all
me?
that going
Just
up
reach
your
in and pull
nose.
wing feathers
Okay.
and tell me when they come out easy.
Are we good? We're good? All right. There you are. All right.
That came easy. The hardest ones are on
So
the tail
we
and the wings.
we were hitting the same thing.
Pull those.
You know, I don't want a whole chicken. I want it. So then we started. It took us 3 years. We came to cut ups of what we call parts and pieces, where you're parting it
Yeah,
out.
they go by
We
quick.
came to that. It took us 3 years to
almost
get
ready.
dragged
Turn out
across.
like
We
that.
came like the calf you're trying to drag across the corral, and he's all
Okay,
locked
let's
up,
turn on
and
the
you're
machine.
pulling on the rope. And you know, that's the way we came. It took us 3 years to finally say, okay, we'll do it. The first year we offered that, we made an extra $20,000 on chicken without raising another one. The value added is unbelievable, unbelievable. So what we did,
Come on up.
we took
Take a look.
we took 10 chickens, we weighed them whole chickens, and then we did parts and pieces and timed ourselves, and we set the price
Sometimes they get stuck.
so that we could get the whole bird price back with just the breast. Okay? And we put our time value, so now we've got 10 whole birds, we've got 10 parts and pieces, and we weighed each, the breast, the thighs,
Got a few
drumsticks,
tail
wings,
feathers.
carcass, all that, or
These are
the
big
rack,
birds.
okay. And we do all that, and what we've priced, the way we've priced it is so that we get about $60 an hour for parts and pieces.
150.
We don't really like to do it.
150.
And we have tried to teach people,
Well, it depends.
just come
because
buy a whole bird,
The
because,
temperature goes from about
people who
145 to
complain about the
155.
price of food,
So that's why I keep
the quickest,
testing the feathers.
a whole
And
chicken,
you get
our
good
whole
at it.
chicken,
Like you saw, I went too far.
and we're
only
kind of
one
we're
time,
kind of an
maybe not quite
elitist
enough another time.
place in some ways. Our whole chicken is cheaper than Tyson boneless skinless breast at Costco.
You want to come up here
Okay.
and pull feathers.
So if you want
do
to
that.
eat like a king on a peasant salary, you get whole chicken. You get a half a beef. You get a half a hog. You get a used freezer, and and you buy in bulk. And farmers love you when you do that because they like big checks as opposed to little checks. So there's a lot to. All right. Does anybody want to try to pull a head off?
What?
Okay. All right.
How about
Everybody wants to pull a head off. Okay. All right. Grab that bugger and put here. Here's one for you. Whoever else wants to do it. All right. Go ahead. Get in there. Go ahead. That's it.
Harder. Definitely harder.
That's it. That's it. You're getting it. You're getting it. Yeah. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You're getting it. That's it. Stay with it. Come on. Come on. You're getting it.
They seem ready?
Keep. That's right. Just take another. Doesn't come first time. Take another grip.
See that?
Oh man. Twist it. Move it. That's right. Twist it. Move it. Get it. Come on.
See how that comes right off? That's one sign.
That's right. Get your thumb in there. That's right. Get another leg in there. That's right. All right. There you go. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
The tail feather. They're always the last thing. So
You got it. You got him on the run. You got him on the run. We're gonna get this.
good for you.
Come on. That's right. Keep going. Keep going. I'm trying to not help him. He's going to get this completely. I can see he's going to get it. Come on. Keep hanging with it. Watch out here so he doesn't hit you with his. Ah! You got it. All right. Hey. All right. How are you doing?
Pretty easy.
Are you getting it?
Anybody want to pull feathers?
Not really?
Last chance.
You want him to help you? That's it.
Birds this
Whoops.
big can be a little bit tougher. Oh,
Here.
That's why we keep our mouth shut. Got her.
All right. Now go. I think you'll get it
You've
now.
been baptized.
Get it now. There! Hey, we got another one. All right. All right. Okay. We got 2 more heads to go here. 2 more. Yeah, put it right here in the gut bucket. That's right. 2 more heads. Who else wants to pull off a head? All right, come on. Come on, get up here. Get after it. Get after it. That's right.
Go ahead. Did you already do it?
This is one time when you don't want to be bashful. You gotta get in it. You gotta immerse yourself. All right. Is there another question? Yeah. So the parts and pieces is a big deal, and there is a wonderful YouTube video of Daniel doing it in whatever he does it in 90 seconds or something like that. We've done the math on it, and yeah, and it generates a lot of income. Yes. Question. Yeah.
Like, I grab them like that. Hold down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that, $60 an hour.
Yep.
I don't know about you. I can work for $60 an hour. That works fine for me. Right there in that red. Oh, good for you. You got it all on your own. Wow. While I was not even watching, while you were sleeping. Okay, you got it. All right, you going to get one? Go after it.
These are tough birds.
Yeah, they're
strong.
They're strong. They're older. Yeah, but they have good
Getting the head off.
Yeah. That's it. Just keep, yeah. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep after it. That's right.
Did you do one yet?
If you weren't at my talk yesterday,
Do it? No.
I said
Okay, I'm
the
gonna
way
do one.
that
Have you done one
children
yet?
develop
Okay, good
self-worth
for you.
is successfully accomplishing meaningful tasks.
Yeah.
I've always pushed like something really up and down. So I've always done it like
These kids will never forget
You hold it and I'm going to pull
the
it down.
day they were up here and successfully accomplished a meaningful task. How you doing?
Hold it. No,
This is a laughing matter, huh?
holding your hand.
Aren't you glad you're not the chicken? All right.
Now you finish
Want me
it.
to help you just a little? Let me give you just a little bit of. All right, now go. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Just stay. Well, you're not going to twist. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. See, it's coming. It's
Yes,
coming.
sir. Yes, ma'am.
Come on, stay with it.
This, yeah.
Come on.
If you didn't,
Come on, Bird. Bird, give it up. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You're so close. Come on,
You
don't
can't push it
don't
down.
laugh.
It's too wiggly.
Frown.
The feet, they've got rigidity and you can at least push them down. You may
I don't know
not
what's
get
so
the feet
funny
scalded
about
as
this.
well.
All right, come on.
That's where
She's in her arms are just shaking.
Yeah.
Come on, you're close. You're so close. I'm not going to help you. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. Trust me. Stay with it. Stay right with it. That's right. That's
I
right.
just do it
That's
by
right.
hand, and it'd be better to put on some heavy
Come on.
gloves.
Come on.
And just
You're
push them all
close.
the way under and jiggle them around.
Are you tired?
They'll go a lot faster than this
Come
because
on.
they're out of the
Oh,
water
come
half
on.
the time with this. And so they cool off a lot. So if you do it that
Let me
way,
break
just
a
hold
couple
them in,
more here.
jiggle for like 1, 2, 3.
All right,
4,
now go.
5.
Now go.
Cool.
There you got it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You get the hang of it.
You got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You are the star. Okay. Good job. All right. Who needs hands? Who needs hands kind of washed off a little bit here? Put your hands up here. That's right. Just put them in a pile. This is wonderful, wonderful cross contamination.
Want to pull those feathers? I'll pull
We're
one, you
building
pull the other.
immune systems up the wazoo here, man.
Yes.
Give that immune
Was that
system
hard?
something to work on.
Not too hard, was it?
Okay.
Not
Are we
too
are we
hard.
done? Is that the last one, David?
We got 2 more in the tub.
2 more in the
Yes,
in the
sir.
in the but they're all dead.
They're all dead. They're all scalded.
They're all scalded. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we've just kind of fooled around here, but we're doing 14 birds,
Big birds.
big birds. So you can do this. All right, more questions? Yes.
Sourcing for GMO free or organic.
Oops.
Is there best practices, tips, tricks?
I'm gonna turn the water on you guys.
Yeah. In general, Tractor Supply is not your friend when it comes to good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all about cheap, industrial volume, blah, blah, blah. So you're looking for a mill
Another one.
in your area, something independent, and especially
wanna do this, young
using
man?
the American Pastured Poultry Producers
know if he's big enough
Association.
that you could.
APAPAPA. American Pastured Poultry Producers Association. Join that. That will put you into chat rooms and networks where people that are doing this are getting feed. There are feed suppliers all over the country where you can get GMO free, but you need to get into the network. You need to get into the tribe. And that tribe is not down at Tractor Supply, okay? Now, if you want a wrench or you want some, whatever, grease for your hay baler, Tractor Supply is fine. But they are not the place for your feed, okay? Good question. Another question. There's more. Yes?
If you're going to separate them into parts, do you do it at this part prior to?
Great question. So if you're going to do parts and pieces, what stage where do you do it? Okay. So what we do is we're putting them in the chill tank. We're going to clean up, take lunch, okay? And then we're going to come back and they're going to be cold. You never want to cut meat warm, ever. It's all squishy and mushy and all that. You want it to get nice and cold and chilled. When it gets nice and cold and chilled, it gets firm. Then you can cut through it a lot better. You can cut 2 or 3 times as fast when they're cold as when they're warm, okay? The other thing is that, if you're like us and you don't have a specially environmentally controlled room to work in, you don't want to keep them out at ambient temperature any longer than necessary at this stage. You get them nice and chilled. Now you can keep them out at ambient temperature for half an hour, and they're not going to go over 45 or 50 because meat's going to, it's not going to get warm very fast. So, those are all, temperature considerations to think about in the process as well. Yeah, great question. Another question. Can I show parting one?
Want to use the new parting cone?
I haven't. You want to do it?
I don't know how to use it either. I will.
I mean, what I need to do the parting out is Daniel. He's the one that's, because I never grew up parting because we didn't do it when I was in charge, and now Daniel's in charge, and he's the one that's really done it well. I can do it, but I'm crude and would not be a good teacher. So there is a good YouTube video of him doing it, and it's really good. And we've got to get off. We got 4 minutes to get off the stage because they got to clean this up for the pig coming.
Throw in a shameless capitalist commercial here. This is a brand new parting cone. So imagine a beer can chicken. You just flop it on top of that, and then both hands are free. And this came about because of the last APA gathering in Texas, where we had an APA Olympics and a parting competition, which Daniel was a part of, and 11 other people that all had quite a bit of experience. The 3 winners all used a parting cone. And the winner was Levi King from Pennsylvania. 29 seconds, Joel, just like he wasn't doing anything.
Oh, I know.
Like
Daniel came back.
It looked like he was putting on butter on toast.
Yeah.
You know?
Daniel said it was unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's a big help.
Yeah. Other questions? Anything else? Yes.
Species for home use, is it worth spending extra time feeding the Red Ranger versus a horse for home?
So, question is breed for a home raiser, Red Ranger versus Cornish Cross. So, we raised Red Rangers for 3 years as an alternative. We continue to raise the Cornish Cross, and we eventually quit because our customers couldn't tell the difference, and they took 2 more weeks to raise, and so the chicks are way more expensive. So we've continued to go with the Cornish Cross, but you suit yourself, play with it. We've got a set of broiler birds right now. A guy just sent us. He's been 10 years developing an alternative. And so we're raising 50 right now they're actually black, and that concerns me because it's the white bird is. You'd be surprised how many pin feathers we've all eaten, but you can't see them because they're white. As soon as you go to an off-color bird, then you start seeing everything. So from a processing aesthetic, that gets a little bit dicey.
You need to have
So we. No, and again, folks, listen. The key to the Cornish Cross performance. You hear people, they can't walk, they won't do anything. You gotta move them every day, and you've got to put them on pasture. And a lot of people don't move them frequently enough, so now they're in their poop and all that. They don't got getting green material, and so the movement is everything. David actually launched a website called Chicken Shift to do a kind of a self-audited aerial photo of people that say they're doing pastured poultry. Because if you don't have the movement and what we call the jet stream, the green grass jet stream behind them, it ain't pastured poultry. Okay, you cannot do pastured poultry in a stationary house.
The jet stream of the grass getting greener and greener.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Yeah.
And that directly affects the flavor as well.
Absolutely, and it directly affects not only the flavor, but it affects the health, the immune system of the bird, because the green material is where the phytonutrients are, and that affects the taste for sure is in the grass. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a lot of grass. If it's six blades of grass a day, that's a lot. So we don't pasture to save feed. We pasture to make a bird worth eating. Okay, doesn't save any feed, but it does make a bird that is tasty and handles well. Okay. Other questions? Yes.
Due to this, are there any mistakes that can't be cleaned up? Like in an order
Oh yeah. If you get a liver with spots or a bunch of yellow on it or something like that, you throw it away. What about if you break a gallbladder and you get gallbladder spread over the chicken, we'll wash that off the best we can, and then that becomes our bird. So if you're going to do this, it's good to like chicken. And in fact, that's a good lesson for all people that are, starting into farming, homesteading, is don't raise something that you don't like. Raise what you like, because you may have to eat your way through your inventory. So, so if you don't like, if you don't like lamb, don't raise sheep. That's a common one. If you don't like arugula, well, don't raise arugula. If you don't like salsify, don't raise salsify. Raise something you like. You'll be a lot more interested in making it work. Another question. Thought I saw a hand. Yes, ma'am. Wave in the back.
This isn't necessarily what you're doing, but as they're chicks and they're growing up, right now we're in an issue where they're not growing. And we're also going to be on our feet, put them outside, but they look like they're only a week old.
You're putting them outside at a week old?
No, next week, or when I get back, they'll be 3 weeks old, they go outside.
Okay.
Look,
Oh, they're not growing. They're not growing? Okay, and they're Cornish cross? Okay, your feed isn't adequate. Your feed is too low in protein. These birds remember, these Cornish cross birds, we call them NASCAR race car high octane double-breasted birds. Yes.
Do they have full feed?
They need a really high octane feed, somewhere in the 19-20% protein range. Now, we're using about an 18%, and we use it all the way through, so we don't have to change feeds. The industry changes feed every single week to try to reduce the protein, increase the starch as they mature. We use one feed, but because our brooder is using deep bedding, deep litter, growing a lot of bugs, they can supplement their protein a lot with bugs in the bedding. They're basically on compost. And so the key to this is deep bedding. I'm talking over 12 inches. 18 inches is better, 24 inches is even better, okay? And most people don't build their brooders to accommodate that depth of bedding, so then you can't get compost, you can't get bugs, and then you're pressed. So I can tell you, if the Cornish cross is not growing, and if they're dying, that's one thing. But if they're just simply stunted and not growing, then I'm 90% sure it's a dietary problem.
so if I've already purchased my feed from a mill, that's supposed to be 20%.
Oh, the feed's supposed to be 20%? You purchased it from a mill? Is it crumbles? Is it crumbles or just milled feed? Yeah, I don't recommend crumbles, because crumbles create so much heat in the extrusion process, it kills a lot of the enzymes and a lot of the nutrients in the feed. Okay? Now, they'll say, well, it's more digestible. Yeah, but if you don't have as much to digest, no wonder it's more digestible.
Same with pellets?
Same with pellets. Yeah, we don't use pelletized or crumbled feed because the heat in the extrusion, it's like pasteurization of milk. We want just ground up nutrients.
You want to see?
You might have something else going on. Do they have enough? Do they have enough grit? Are you giving them grit?
Yeah, I am. And I'm actually started putting it in the feed so it's first instead of on the side.
I would not put it in the feed. Chickens are not the smartest thing in the world, especially little chicks, and especially Cornish cross. Yeah, you want to do the lungs. Here you go. Here you go. There's lungs. Okay.
Free choice,
Yeah, we're all about.
free choice, your grit.
So,
I never knew to use grit for the first 5 years. We never used grit.
yeah.
Still had 4-pound chickens.
Yeah. Another question. Yes.
Is there something that can be done for sauerkraut? And would you eat a bird that died of sauerkraut?
Sour crop? Where they got like a crop hernia. Yeah. I wouldn't have any trouble eating that bird. I wouldn't sell it. But it doesn't tank the meat. the bird's just not able to get stuff past the crop into their digestive system. I mean, they'll die pretty quick, once you see that. So if you see that, go ahead and dress the bird and put him in the pot.
So there's nothing that you can do to help them?
Nothing that I know of for that kind of thing. They normally just go. I mean,
These birds are bred to die at 8 weeks. These birds are bred to die at 8 weeks. There's never a longer lifespan for these birds, so you can't expect them to, stay thriving for very long. They're going to have heart attacks and strange things because they're an industry bird.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And so, when you're just doing, a dozen birds and one doesn't perform well, you go out and you play the violin to it and sit with it overnight and read Henry Wadsworth Longfellow poetry to it. But once you've been in this a while, you kind of get over that and realize it's not a cow, okay? It's not a Kentucky Derby winner racehorse. And I did the lung. Sorry, I got one more lung. Somebody want to try the lung? One. I got one more left. Okay, another question. Yes.
You cook chicken or what?
Do we cook chicken?
Yes.
We do.
Okay.
Would you rather eat it raw?
No.
Well, we have customers that eat raw chicken. Absolutely. Yeah. We just had 3 Japanese at the farm this week. It was, and let me tell you, it's fascinating. You'll hear about it. They were executives from Japanese Manufacturing Associates Corporation, JMAC. That's the company that developed the Toyota Lean program.
Yes, I read about that
and
from you somewhere.
And they're getting a lot of requests to go into Africa. And so they were looking around the world for a platform that they could test their kind of on. And they're searching this is really great. They're searching the internet for a farm that looks like a factory. Looks like a factory. And they stumbled on us with the Google GPS of our jet stream with the shelters going across the field.
Yeah.
And they saw that. That's a factory. And they contacted me from Japan. This has been about 5 years in the making because they were going to come in COVID and then all the travel was done. So they just came this week, spent 3 days. And it was so funny in their presentation to our farm staff as they said, Polyface is the ultimate factory farm.
Oh, thank you.
That's the way our crew responded. And they say, what did we say? And so I had to explain that, for me, the factory farm is not what we've been trying to do. But boy, they went through our processing, and Daniel's brimming with ideas now.
Nice.
He said we got to tell Dave about this. We got some more equipment for him to make. So, yeah, it was pretty fascinating to have that level of eyes. You got it. Good for you. Wow. Just while I was sitting here yakking, you did it. Good for you.
Sign her up.
Yeah, man. Good. We're ready to butcher chickens here. Yeah. Who else? Anybody else have dirty hands? Anybody else have dirty hands? You helped butcher 2 sets of chickens. You did.
No, recently, me and my family slaughtered 75.
75 birds you did. Wow, there's
The last time we slaughtered 39.
39. Wasn't 40, it's 39.
At 40, but then one.
Oh, okay, one didn't make it. Yeah. All right. Give all these young people a great hand.
Thank you, Joel.
David, American Treasure, and thanks for coming. We're really out of time. I'll get these under some more water, and blessings on all of your processing. This is I'll steal from Dave. Truly, he said it right. He said, "We will know that we have changed the food system in America when this right here, there are as many as there are lawnmowers." And I think that's a massive thing. Let's turn our lawns into poultry pastures, and let's revolutionize our food system and send Tyson packing. That's great. So,
Thank you, everybody.
Great. Thank you for coming.